Hello everyone and welcome to another Tuesday webinar. So today we're going to look at trades we had running, trades we were looking at. Now, one of them was the Nasdaq off that inside bar here. Now, as I've said before, that this is a huge bar to be taking a reversal off of, and in this particular point, the next resistance level was here. So bounce, 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 bounce. Okay, we also have a smaller or a horizontal level, the blue one as well. So we have the red line and we have sort of this one here, 1, 2, 3 touches, 4 historically. So we do have a decent enough little zone there. So anyone who's taking that short would have been looking to jump out somewhere around this area. Now the problem with that is the risk to reward is 0.47, so it's not something that I would have been sort of interested in because it was a resistance level there. Now, so yes, if you'd have taken that, you won 0.47, but again, it's not the risk to reward we're looking for. Now, having said that, we do have this trend line. Look, 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches. We also have a break and retest here. Okay, hit ceiling, break and retest of this horizontal level here as well. So we do have a little setup there to the upside. Now, again, is this a high probability trade? Well, it looks like a higher probability trade than the short that we had on. And that's the entry, that's a stop loss. And at the present moment, you're slightly up on this particular trade. Now, looking out at the support and resistance, because we have to take them into consideration. We know that this is a bullish market at the minute, and there is a level. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 touches there. Okay. We also know this horizontal here has 1, 2, 3, so it has a few touches. So we have to work out, is it going to bounce before this level here? Is it going to bounce before there? Or are you super bullish on this and expecting this to go and hit a 3-to-1 for us, which will be inside that previous high? And they're the type of questions you have to be asking. So you have to have this sort of set up and done before you actually place these trades, if that makes sense. So you have to have the risk management, whether you're trailing your stop loss, whether you're waiting for it to hit a 3-to-1, whether when it gets to a certain amount, you par closing it and letting it run. You have to come up with all those decisions. Now the S&P is very, very similar. Now the S&P went a little bit further than the Nasdaq, so there was the 1-to-1, so it didn't quite come back down as far as the 1-to-1. Would have went down to a 1.76 to 1 on this particular one, down to there. But again, this particular one didn't have a jump out level straight away as it did on the Nasdaq. But again, the overall momentum is up. On the Dow, the overall momentum is up here. So again, I'm not looking for anything more than a 1-to-1 on this. Is this as bullish as the Nasdaq at the moment? No. We're getting a lot more sidewaysness on this. We're getting a lot more movements, and then it sort of moves. Then it takes off, and it's not taking off as well as the likes of the Nasdaq is. But as we can see, it has hit nice winners for us. But we just have to sit through it. And this particular one, if you're waiting for this data 1-to-1, I would imagine there's a high probability of us getting stopped out on this. I do think it will sort of run up into this area. Now, if that's your understanding and you expect it to go up into this area, then we have to look at a long position. Now, the problem with this here is I don't see massive areas that are jumping out of me for us to take this. There's a random level there that had a couple of touches back historically, but it's been broken on numerous times. You could say, well, Henry, that's there, and it gives us a nice little sort of entry to get in on that. But for me, that's not strong enough. It's not strong enough. And I wouldn't have been looking at this as a long for that particular reason. A lot of people go, well, Henry, it's a low test bar. That's a really good buy signal. Yes, it's a really good buy signal, but you have to have some sort of support and resistance underneath it for it to play out correctly. So in this particular scenario, we're probably 0.8% up at the moment. Not quite a 1-to-1, but again, this one is, there's a higher probability of this one hitting a 3-to-1 than this one hitting a 1-to-1. But again, only time can tell. And the Dow was the only one that didn't really give us a setup. The Dow was moving sideways. We have this sort of triangle, descending triangle going on here, or wedge shape, and eventually we'll get a pop out. You'd expect the pop to the upside because the overall momentum is up, but again, it's, do you get in here? Do you get in when it comes back to this level here? Unfortunately, it is what it is. German DAX. So anyone who jumped in on this trade here with us, you are dying of old age at the minute if you jumped in on this trade. At the moment, you are 1.4 up. Understand it's slow, but as long as it hasn't dropped, so the phase 2 has happened. So as long as it continues going up, well done. That's all we're sort of looking for. Even slow and steady going up wins the race. That's exactly what we want. French CAC didn't place a trade on it. UK 100. So this is one that I put in the chat group and I actually did a poll on. So this trade here, we got triggered in here. Well done. And at the moment today, we are 1.6 up. So again, we're going to leave that at the 3-to-1 and see, is it going to get there? But remember, this is a record high now. So what we need is probably another 1, maybe 2 days of bullish momentum, and then come back to that floor, and then potentially look to scale into this position. I potentially move my stop loss to break even, which means then I can jump into a new position here and then let it run. Okay, as you can see, we've had a couple of winners here on these, likes of this, the likes of this. This one is running quite nicely, and again, it comes down to it's 1.5% up. Do you par close now? Do you close 1% of it and let the rest of it run? Do you move your stop loss inside break even? We have a clear horizontal level there, and unfortunately I don't have a crystal ball, but at the minute, because this is so bullish, I wouldn't be moving my stop losses at the present moment. China, why we have such a big stop loss in this is because we had to put our stop loss below the level, and it didn't quite touch it. And from there, it's had a nice little pop to the upside. Not as strong or as quick as we wanted it. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days moving sideways before it took off on the 6th day. But as long as we start making higher highs, we don't care. It will run and hit. I have a 2-to-1 on this one rather than a 3-to-1, but we'll manage this once it gets there. Aus200, is this about to turn? We now have this bar, we've had an inside bar, and then we've had a bar that slightly made a higher high. Is this a valid trade, as in on that red big bar? Stop loss just below that low? Or do you put your stop loss there? Now the 3-to-1 is outside that level. Now let's have a quick look, see where that's come from. Okay, that's that there. Now under no circumstances would I be putting my take profit outside that level, and I would put it literally there, and that's the lowest of the 3. I put it inside that previous high there. And this one would be a 1.76 to 1. Okay, risk to reward. Well, actually 1.8 to 1 on that one as a risk to reward if I'm looking to take that. Japanese yen. So we have loads of opportunity on the indices at the moment. Something that I've already taken as well. Anyone who is on my webinars has seen that I've done a pink list. So these are, I've gone through a whole raft of the markets to see what's setting up, what's not setting up. Look, are they companies that are jump out of us? Probably not, but they're all companies that are trending, that have a clear direction. They're all going in a clear upward momentum, and the idea is to find trades on these now. The market is starting to go bullish. We now have to wait for the correct setups and then going from there on the likes of these. Now, I'll actually get rid of that one. But you can see that there's patterns forming on the likes of these that are going in clear directions. We have clear floors, we have clear ceilings, and something that popped up. Well, look at that one, beautiful. There was one that popped up, was Comcast Cooperation. It bounced once, twice, 3 times, and come back and hit this floor. Now we'll put an extra little bit on the stop loss here. Yes, it means that it has to go a little bit further for us to hit profit. Why? Because there's the previous low. Okay, I wanted to try to be as close to that as possible, but definitely wanted to be below this one. All right, so I'll put an extra little bit on the bottom of that there. Stick a 3 to 1 on this. Absolutely. So there's the 3 to 1, and here in our chat group here under Henry's trades, we can see here there's the trade that I placed. Okay, so the open was 38.55. My stop loss actually didn't click on the stop loss there, but I'll tell you now in a second. The stop loss was at, I'm pretty sure the stop loss was at the 37 mark, which is frustrating that I didn't put it in there. I usually click on it and then looking for a 3 to 1. So they're the kind of setups that I do. They're the kind of trades that I look at when I'm taking my trades. So there's the trade there at this present moment. So the stop loss is at 37.60. So that's where the stop loss is. And if I go over here to the chart, that's what it looks like there. So the entry there about the 38.50, 37.60 is the stop loss there. Okay, and it's now popped to the upside. We're 6% up on this. Okay, so they're the kind of trades that I'm looking for on the likes of these. What is that? 37.60 was my stop loss. So there's my stop loss. Okay, and that's the idea. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the 3 to 1, looking for this to run, and let's see how it goes. Because remember, we do have a nice little run here, a nice little trend. If the Nasdaq continues going up, you'd expect this to continue going up. If the markets continue, if the Nasdaq, the S&P, and the Dow continue running, you'd expect this one to continue running as well. And that's all we're looking for. That's all we're looking for as day traders. We're looking for these little sort of entries, and if we get these entries, absolutely brilliant. Look, if you want to get into my chat group, if you want to jump into any of those sort of things, all you have to do is click on the link on the YouTube channel. And if you have any questions about any of them, see where it says show more down here. Okay, all we do is click on the show more, and then you have my free course, you have the free Discord room, and then you have the paid webinars. If you ever want to jump on those, just click on that and then you become a member. And there is a free month at the present moment, so just jump in on that. But don't forget to like or comment on the videos, and I will reply to them. And then if you have any suggestions for videos moving forward, don't hesitate to give me a shout. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening, and I will speak to you all next Tuesday. Bye-bye.